Chapter 2. Ning Wangshu wanted to grab his father's clothes, but seeing the insidious gaze Wang Ma cast at him, he trembled in fear, then stiffly let Xiao Xingfang hold him. Ah, open your mouth. This is baby's favorite purple jam cognac. Very sweet, very fragrant. Xiao Xingfang softly crooned, coaxing her, bearing kind, extremely patient. If Zhou Yunsheng wasn't long aware of her true nature, he would have almost been deceived by her. Ning Xinyan and Zhao Xingfang met at an orphanage. She was a volunteer. Every weekend she would go to help take care of the children. Ning Xinyan witnessed how tenderly, considerately, and patiently she treated the children, and this aroused the idea of marrying her. Right now, he was very satisfied with Zhao Xingfang's performance. His grim face eased up slightly. Zhao Yunsheng picked at his rice, his line of sight only staring at the plate in front of him. He didn't look elsewhere. Wang Ma finished the dishes and cleaned the kitchen. Laughing while wiping her hands, she said, "Madam, it's better if I feed the baby. You've had an exhausting day." Ning Wangshu's face paled, but because he was scared to death of Wang Ma's beatings, he merely gritted his teeth in silent tears, not daring to resist. Wang Ma pretended to cry out in alarm. "Aya, what's the matter? You were just in a good mood. Why are you suddenly crying suddenly? Lately, the baby has been refusing to talk, eat, and even go to sleep. He'll inexplicably start crying, but even when crying, he refuses to make a sound. It's really distressing. This is a sin. How could a good child become like this?" As she spoke, tears started falling, looking more pitiful than Ning Wangsu. Ning Wangsu was already scared into a quail, stiff and shrinking in her arms. He was even too afraid to breathe. After only being here one day, Zhao Yunsheng could already see Ning Wangshu's fear of Wang Ma. But unfortunately, Ning Xinyan was too involved and was raised up by Wang Ma. He loved her like a mother, so he really didn't notice the slightest strangeness. Right now, his rage was provoked by Wang Ma's few words. His ice-cold, sharp gaze swept Zhou Yunsheng, but because he needed to attend to the child, he reluctantly restrained himself. He picked up his son, gently comforting and coaxing, singing the nursery rhyme Wang Ma sang to him as a child. But when Ning Wangsu heard it, not only did he not calm down, his whole body started convulsing. Ning Xinyan's heart burned with worry. He immediately brought his son back to his room and repeatedly called the family doctor. Wang Ma and Zhao Xingfang ardently followed him. In the blink of an eye, only Zhou Yunsheng was left in the dining room. He put down the bowl unhurriedly, wiped his mouth, washed his hands, and returned to his room. Wei Qiyan's room was arranged very simply. The bookcase was full of books related to painting, and the drawers were mostly filled with paints and artboards. All kinds of brands. He was clearly a painting otaku. There was nothing in life but painting. But the current Zhou Yunsheng was a hacker. He needed a computer to live. After rummaging through the room for a while, he finally found the laptop in a trunk under the bed. He turned it on and connected it to the web. The light from the screen cast a shadow on the boy's delicate, androgynous face. He stared intently at the screen, his fingers moving over the keyboard at speeds the naked eye couldn't follow. A few minutes later, he was interrupted by a fierce knock on the door. He couldn't help but frown. "Wei Xiyang, we need to talk. Come out," Ning Xinyan shouted while knocking on the door. There was no sign of movement inside, so he was a little agitated, unable to hold back from kicking the door. Fortunately, Ning family was very rich. The doors were all well-made, solid wood doors. Unless he brought in another two big men, it wouldn't be so easy to break into the room. Jo Yun-cheng's tight nerves relaxed. He pursed his lips, then picked up a teacup on his desk and ruthlessly smashed it on the door, expressing his determination not to meet with him. The former Wei Xian was afraid to talk with Ning Xinyan, but Zhou Yunsheng simply didn't want to talk to him. Ning Xinyan had sentenced Wei Xian to death in his heart long ago. No matter how Wei Xian explained it, he probably wouldn't listen. Ning Xinyan heard a loud noise and saw the tea seeping out along the carpet. Apparently the man inside was also very agitated. Thinking of his parents' warning to not upset Wei Xian under any circumstances, he pulled his tie, having no choice but to walk away. His son had purple bruises on his body. He'd already sent photographs to his parents on the other side of the ocean, but they resolutely didn't believe him, only saying that Wei Xian would never hurt others. Even a cup could be smashed. Was that the attitude of someone who would never hurt others? If he didn't do it, then was it Xing Fang? Wang Ma? One was gentle, introverted, and kind-hearted wife. The other was Wang Ma, who raised him up. She was like a mother to him. If Ning Xinyan had to doubt someone, it would never be those two. Not to mention his son himself, that his Xiaoshu hit him. He was so small, how could he lie? Hearing the footsteps gradually going away, Zhou Yunsheng clicked the enter key and a small program was sent to Ning Xinyan's computer. Ning Xinyan kept watch at his son's bedside, looking at his panicked and restless sleep. Despite being injected with a sedative, his heart suddenly twisted in heartache. The family doctor's words echoed over and over again in his mind. Mr. Mr. Ning, look at this situation. Your son's abuse has left a psychological shadow. You need to find him a psychologist as soon as possible and keep him away from the source of terror. Keep him away from the source of terror? Ning Xinyan mused for a moment, quietly walking over to his study. Xiao Xingfang stood under the hallway's lamplight. Seeing him approaching, she said in a low voice, I'm sorry, Xinyan. I didn't take good care of the baby. Do you want me to quit my job at the orphanage? Wang Ma is watching the baby by herself. She'll inevitably have times where her hands are full. Also, I've already contacted a psychologist from the capital's medical university department of psychology, Dr. Sun Wen. He has done a lot of research on child psychology problems. He's second to none in the country. This is his business card. You keep it. I'll take the baby to see the doctor every Wednesday. You don't have to resign. You don't have to resign. You only go on the weekends. It doesn't take much time. Besides, there's 1,000 days to be a thief, but not 1,000 days to guard against theft. I told my parents I'm striving to send Wei Xian out as soon as possible. I originally planned to contact Dr. Kuran, but you were a step faster than me. Dr. Sun Wen is also very good. Plus, he's currently in the country. Very convenient. Xingfang, you've worked hard. Ning Xinyan took a look at the business card. Xiao Xingfang saw his exhausted expression and opened her mouth, but ultimately didn't say anything. The two brothers' time together wasn't long. The feelings were weak, but if they got the chance to grow closer someday, who knew if Wei Xian might speak about that day. Now, not only did her scheme work, that little bastard Ning Wangsu was turned into an idiot. Zhao Xingfang's heart was filled with pleasure. She smiled pleasantly as she opened the door for her husband. Ning Xinyan walked up to the window and lit a cigarette, the orange-red cigarette butt flickering rapidly, as if he was in an anxious mood. In less than half a minute, he'd smoked the whole cigarette, so he turned on the desk lamp and called his parents. The number you have dialed is turned off. The number you have dialed is turned off. The number you have dialed... After consecutively failing to connect a few times, he exasperatedly threw away the phone. However, it accidentally hit the mouse, activating the standby computer, and that box jumped out. The orange font was very eye-catching. Ning Xinyan was reaching to turn it off, but froze when he saw the contents clearly. Are you still worried about theft? Are you still worried about the lazy nanny? Are you still angry about your child being abused by the nanny? Pinhole cameras solve all your worries. On-site installation, convenient and practical. Ning Xinyan ignored the following content, his eyes quickly flashing a bright light. Since his parents didn't want to believe, he'd placed the evidence in front of them, with irrefutable proof. Even if Wei Xiyan stubbornly refused to go, he could call people to throw him out, and also let him pay a painful price. He picked up his phone again and dialed Zhao Yun's number. Zhao Yun lived west of Ning family mansion. A former mercenary, he now served as Ning Xinyan's driver and bodyguard, but he was also responsible for handling Ning Xinyan's many matters that should not see the light. After he received the call, he didn't ask any question, quickly preparing a set of monitoring equipment. The next day, Ning Xinyan went to work. Zhao Yun pretended to clean the air conditioning units, installing the pinhole surveillance cameras in every corner of the Ning residence. He didn't even lift off the bathrooms. Finally, a rice grain-sized eavesdropper tool was placed inside Ning Wangshu's longevity locket. Now was summer vacation. Zhou Yunsheng didn't need to attend class. After getting up and eating breakfast, he shut himself in his studio. He was now replacing Wei Xiyan. Naturally, he would help Wei Xiyan achieve his dreams. There was no doubt Wei Xiyan's dream was to become a great painter. Sensing the many monitoring tools in the house, his originally unhappy mood slowly brightened. He stretched out white, slender fingers and pulled off the white cloth on the canvas. This was a newly completed rural landscape painting. It was the scenery around the Ning mansion. Under the brilliant sunshine was a blooming garden of Chinese roses and Japanese roses. The large expanse of warm hues made people feel delighted. But the honest Wei Xiyan's painting style indeed had a little spirituality, but because of his narrow scope and closed-off personality, it was missing something more in depth. His paintings were very delicate, very beautiful, and gave visual enjoyment, but it couldn't shake people's souls. Zhou Yunsheng had reincarnated hundreds of times. Although he played the villain in every life, it couldn't be denied that if the villain had no ability, how could they compete with the protagonist? In every reincarnation, he not only strived to complete a task, he also didn't forget to learn a variety of skills. He has been a scholar, state teacher, emperor, immortal cultivator, also a knight, duke, the pope, magician, etc. These experiences gave him endless pain, but also gave him priceless wealth. He picked up many diverse skills, which naturally included painting, whether it was traditional Chinese painting, oil painting, sketching, or watercolor. As long as he had a brush, he could create a world. His mastery of painting was totally incomparable with Wei Xiyan. Even in this world, there was no one who could stand toe-to-toe with him. So when it came to completing Wei Xiyan's dream, Zhou Yunsheng was simply not troubled. He unhurriedly observed Wei Xiyan's painting, analyzing his painting technique. The room was extremely quiet. Not only the sound of the breeze blowing the tree leaves could be heard. At this time, a little figure walked in. He stood in a doorway, looking in, apparently attracted by the fascinating scenery on the canvas. Step by step, he soundlessly and cautiously walked up to behind Zhou Yunsheng. Zhou Yunsheng finished analyzing Wei Xiyan's painting style. He turned to pick up the brush and palette, but met Ning Wangshu's eyes. The two were both somewhat autistic, obviously shocked by each other. They shared a "you look at me, I look at you" blank look. After a long time, Zhou Yunsheng slowly stretched out his hand and picked up the palette on top of the small stool beside Ning Wangshu. Ning Wangshu intended to retreat backwards, but stopped when he found that he wasn't trying to touch him. With a pair of wide-open big eyes, he raised his head and looked up. Zhou Yunsheng ignored him. He diluted the paint and focused on painting the canvas. Uncle and nephew stood close together, one seriously painting, the other focusing on watching. Two exquisite faces with the same deadpan expression. The scene seemed a little funny, but also looked so warm and lovely.